Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video will be on how I went from scraps to a beautiful maxi dress. Here I lay the fabrics on the ground to see the pattern of the material and to know how to assemble it. This is what I got. I'm happy with the way the pattern came out. So I went ahead and measured the length of fabric I'll be working with, and I kept the rest for later. I've gone ahead to join all three pieces together using my overlocker, and this is what we have. I measured the whole fabric to know how many yards of fabric we are working with, and here we have 3 yards and a little over a quarter. A quarter is 9 inches, and here we have 13 inches instead. The width of the fabric measured 56 inches, and also the little fabric I removed measured 3 yards and a little over a quarter, and the width measured 24 inches. My fabric is folded at 23 inches. I will go ahead and cut off the excess, and it's folded into 4. This paper here is from the video I did on how I recycle shopping paper bags to pattern drafting papers. I have taped it together to demonstrate the part that I didn't get on record. The link to that video will be in the description. The measurements will be on the screen. I have marked 23 inches, the width of our fabric on fold, and here I'm indicating the center front fold of our fabric. I went out 5 inches on my start line for the strap and came down 9 inches to mark my bust level. That means the distance from the start line to the bust level is 4. Now I'm marking my bust measurement, which is 11 inches. I'm working with a bust circumference of 44 inches divided by 4. This line will serve as a reference. I went in by 2.5 inches on the start line, which is also my chest line, and on the bust line to mark my armhole. I went up 2 inches on the center fold line for the front neckline and curved it back into the chest line. I placed the tape at 5 inches on the start line or chest line to take the length of the gown to where I will join the gathers, and for me it's 42 inches. So the distance from the chest line to where I will join the gathers is 37 inches. That is, if you minus 5 inches from the 42 inches, you will get 37 inches. Now I'm marking the pockets. I went down 10 inches from the armhole to mark the pocket level, and another 7 inches for the pocket opening. Then I went ahead to cut out my fabric. This remaining material is part of what I will be using to do the gathering later on in the video. I've gone ahead to cut the fabric, The only places I added seam allowance was at the neckline and at the bottom where I'll be joining the gathers. There are no seam allowances on the armhole and on the selvage. I removed the fabric for the front dress to make a little adjustment for the back neckline. My client wanted the back a little lower, so I went down 1 inch at the center back and blended the lines back into the chest line. My fabric is folded into 4. I'll go ahead and cut out the pockets using my pocket pattern. Locking all sides of the fabric plus the pockets to avoid fraying. I'm working with an Ankara print mixed with polyester. I went ahead to attach my pockets and I changed my sewing foot to a sewing foot with a seam guard to ensure that I'm sewing at a 0.5 inch seam allowance. I measured my seam allowance and I placed my sewing guard on it to sew at 0.5 seam allowance. Whenever you attach your pockets to your garments, consider top stitching on it. This gives your pocket a neat finish and makes it lay nice and flat. I'm running a basting stitch for the gathering of the front and back necklines. I went ahead and gathered it, and here is all done. I am measuring to see if I have gathered it up to the front and back armpit to armpit measurement by adjusting the gathers, and once that is confirmed, I went ahead to knot the thread. I've prepared the bias tapes for the necklines and for the sleeves. The details of measurements will be on the screen. My client's armpit to armpit measurement is 13 inches for the front and 14 inches for the back, minus 1 inch respectively. So the length of my bias tape for the front is 12 inches and for the back is 13 inches. I've pinned the strap to the neckline, adjusting the gathers to spread it homogeneously. I will go ahead and stitch it, trim off excess seam allowance. This is very important as this will reduce bulkiness when you top stitch to finish off the neckline. The same applies to the back neckline. I have run a straight stitch at the center front to give our gown the V neckline. This is what it looks like. I'm sewing together the front and the back dress, leaving a space of 1.5 inches on the armhole for easy piping of the armholes when I will be attaching the straps for the sleeves. The front and the back dress has been sewn together, the pockets done, the dress taking shape already, and we move to attaching the straps. My client didn't want a spaghetti hand strap. She wanted a strap that would be broad enough to cover the strap of her bra, so I went in for a 1 inch strap. I measured the front and back armhole. For me it's 7.25 each, but I marked 7.5 inches instead, which I will explain later. I marked 11 inches for the strap, 5 inches for the front and 6 inches for the back. Our back armholes are slightly higher than the front. That's the reason for the 6 inches instead of 5 inches. And the remaining 7.25, but I marked 7.5 instead for the back armhole. The side of the strap that goes to the armhole, I manipulated the fabric a little. I reduced it from 0.5 inch to 0.75 and blended it back to the 1 inch. This is what your strap will look like. I pinned the straps to the front and back armhole, and I'll go ahead and stitch it up. So as I'm pinning it down to top stitch, I'm manipulating the fabric, going from 0.5 to 0.75 and back into the 1 inch. I finished off the straps by top stitching it from the front to the back. I also sew closed the 1.5 inch I left open by the side of the armhole and went ahead to overlock it. The straps and necklines are done. To add the gathers, I measured the circumference of the gown, and for me is 91 inches. I multiplied these 91 inches by 2 to get the total length of fabric for the gathers. This gave me 182 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. So I'm running a basting stitch to gather the fabric for the front, and I will do the same for the back. I have gathered the fabric for the front and for the back. I will sew them together, overlock it, after which I will pin it to the gown. I have pinned the gathers to the gown. I will go ahead to sew it, overlock it, and finish off the hem of the gown. And voila, our gown is ready. If you have any questions, if there is anything you didn't understand in the tutorial, please let me know in the comment section. And if you find this video helpful, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so that you get notified when I upload a new video. I upload new video every Wednesday. And that's it for me, guys. A bientôt. Bye.